Most evil scientists who experimented on humans. In this video, we will delve into the horrifying tales of the most evil scientists who subjected their fellow human beings to unspeakable experiments. How did they justify their atrocities in the name of science? And what happened to the innocent victims who fell into their clutches, forever scarred by the horrors they endured? So let's get started. Number 1. Vladimir Damikos. In the number 1 spot on our list, we have the enigmatic Vladimir Damikos. Hailing from the Soviet Union, you'll be shocked to learn that this peculiar scientist dared to venture into the creation of a two-headed dog. Damikos didn't settle for the ordinary method of crossbreeding. No, he took it to a whole new level of horror. He physically separated one dog's body and attached it to another. Yes, it's as repulsive as it sounds. Your stomach churns just thinking about it. Astonishingly, these poor canines endured a mere 4 days before succumbing to their tragic fate. But it gets worse. Damikos wasn't satisfied with his grotesque experiment. He repeated this abominable procedure, subjecting 2 dogs to this macabre fusion. Miraculously, they clung to life for about a month. Can you believe it? Yet here's the kicker. Damikos had no valid reason for these sickening exploits. His motives were simply driven by a twisted desire for personal gratification and a sickening urge to boast about his so-called accomplishments. Thankfully, Damikos didn't achieve the satisfaction he craved. We can all breathe a sigh of relief knowing that he received no reward or recognition for his despicable actions. Number 2. Paracelsus. Now let's talk about the enigmatic world of Paracelsus, the Swiss physician, scientist, and alchemist who roamed the Renaissance landscape in the 1500s. While he may not have dabbed in the audacious practice of crossbreeding humans with animals, his eccentric experiments in size manipulation certainly earned him a spot on this list. Paracelsus, the self-proclaimed alchemist extraordinaire, harbored a wild belief that he could alter the size of humans, transforming them into colossal giants or minuscule creatures. His methods, let's just say, were far from conventional. Legend has it that he nurtured these peculiar beings by cultivating them in jars. Yes, jars. Picture him carefully tending to these jars, stored in a cozy warm spot, as if nurturing a peculiar menagerie. But that's not all. Paracelsus had an unconventional recipe for their growth. He believed that feeding these creatures blood was the key to their size manipulation. Can you imagine the scene? The mad alchemist, with a wicked glint in his eye, meticulously sprinkled droplets of blood into a jar, watching with anticipation as his creatures responded, stretching and growing to extraordinary proportions. In his own twisted way, Paracelsus actually achieved some level of success. Reports suggest that he managed to grow tiny humans, shrunken versions of their normal counterparts. The jar served as their peculiar incubator, nurturing their diminutive existence. But alas, the story takes a dark turn. These pint-sized creatures allegedly rebelled against their creator, seizing an opportunity for freedom, and vanished into the vast unknown. It is said that they stood no more than a foot in height, forever leaving us to wonder about their fate. Paracelsus, the enigmatic figure of the Renaissance, with his unconventional experiments and delusion of manipulating the size, both fascinates and perplexes. His audacious quest to control the dimensions of living beings speaks volumes about his eccentricity and, some might say, his descent into madness. Number 3. Irving Weisman. Meet Irving Weisman, a daring researcher at Stanford University, armed with a curious mind and a go-ahead from his superiors, embarked on an audacious journey to inject a mouse with actual human brain cells. Human brain cells in a mouse. What could possibly go wrong? The scientists were simply eager to uncover what might happen, like poking the fabric of reality with a scientific stick, just to see the fascinating consequences. This experiment had its limits. They set a clear boundary and cautioned Weisman and his team to halt their groundbreaking endeavor once the mouse started exhibiting human-like behaviors. You know, stuff like improved memory or problem-solving skills. Why, you ask? Well, because nobody wants a Pinky and the Brain scenario playing out in the real world. We may enjoy their animated adventures, but a mouse-driven revolution? Not exactly what we're ready for. The concept of a mouse with human brain cells strutting around, plotting world domination, might seem like an intriguing storyline for a cartoon. But when it comes to reality, Let's just say we're not quite prepared for a takeover by our tiny rodent friends. So rest easy, my friends. While the story of Irving Wiseman's audacious experiments flirts with the boundaries of scientific exploration, we can rest assured that the pinky-sized brains won't be taking over anytime soon. Our world remains safely in the hands of Homo sapiens, leaving the realm of animated fantasies to reside in the colorful world of cartoons. Number 4. Gordon Gallup. Now let's shine a light on the collective of scientists who willingly embarked on these peculiar ventures. Were they driven by an evil frequency, or simply following orders? Who truly holds the reins of power behind such ventures? Gordon Gallup, once a leading authority in evolutionary psychology, collaborated with a group of brilliant minds in the roaring 1920s. Their peculiar mission: to explore the interbreeding of humans with chimpanzees. They dabbed with the boundaries of species, and rumors began to circulate that their audacious experiment had actually succeeded. The Orange Park Laboratory in Florida became the epicenter of this controversial project, where a courageous female chimpanzee was inseminated with human essence. Astonishingly, she not only became pregnant, but also gave birth to a living being, a humanzee, if you will. They made the heartbreaking decision to euthanize the humanzee. What in the world, you ask? Why put this innocent creature through such a journey, only to deny it a chance at life? But his bizarre experiments don't end there. Back in the 1800s, a team of Belgian scientists embarked on a bovine adventure. Their mission? To create a super cow, a colossal bovine behemoth that would make even the bravest among us tremble. It all started innocently enough, as they sought to crossbreed native cattle with short-haired counterparts. But over time, they became fixated on selecting only the biggest and strongest specimens, leading to the birth of the Belgian super cow. This creature, my friends, is no ordinary cow. It's a hulking mass of bovine might, a true testament to the powers of scientific manipulation. One look at this steroid-infused monstrosity, and fear seizes our hearts. Why, oh why, did they tread this path? What was the purpose behind these experiments? We can only speculate, but our instincts tell us it may have been driven by a desire for more meat on our plates. Number 5. Juan Carlos Belmonte. Juan is a brilliant biologist at the renowned Salk Institute in sunny California. Juan has teamed up with a group of scientists and researchers from China to embark on an audacious mission, creating a human-animal chimera. Now, before you raise your eyebrows and exclaim, "What in the world?" hear me out. This might just be one experiment that could change the game forever. Picture this: a monkey embryo injected with human cells, blurring the lines between species. But why, you ask? The answer lies in a grand purpose that could potentially revolutionize the medical world. Juan and his fellow researchers aim to uncover the mind-boggling possibility of animals possessing fully human organs. Think livers and kidneys. These genetically modified organs could be the answer to our global transplant crisis. And let's face it, we're in dire need of a solution. Every passing minute, another soul joins the never-ending waiting list for a life-saving organ transplant. We simply can't afford to turn a blind eye to the urgency of this matter. Now, let's address the elephant in the room. Has this experiment yielded successful results? Well, that remains to be seen. The intricacies of this venture are still shrouded in uncertainty. But fear not, in the coming years, we'll surely witness the unveiling of the grand discoveries that Juan and his cohorts have been meticulously crafting behind those laboratory doors. The anticipation is palpable, and the potential impact on humanity is immeasurable. Number 6. Dr. Karl Klauberg. Now, we have Klauberg, a doctor infamous for his unspeakable actions in the monstrous camps during World War II. Klauberg had a twisted agenda, initially focused on sterilizing women in the camp. But his sinister interest expanded as he conducted horrific experiments on thousands of prisoners. He went as far as artificially inseminating them using various methods, tormenting his victims with claims of injecting animals into their wombs to create monstrous beings. While there are no confirmed reports of the aftermath or the success of these diabolical experiments, we can only be grateful that this abhorrent venture failed. Pure evil indeed. Number 7. Next up, we have Hiromitsu Nagaichi, a scientist from Japan leading the team at the University of Tokyo. Their plan? Growing human cells in mice and rat embryos, and then transferring them into surrogate animals. Sound familiar? That's because similar work is being done at Stanford University in the US. The goal, once again, is to explore the possibility of animals producing human organs for transplantation. Japan recently loosened restrictions on how long human cells in the embryos can be kept alive, allowing them to be sustained until the animal reaches full term. This could be a groundbreaking avenue for research, but ethical concerns surround the fate of the resulting animals. Destroying a life that has been brought into this world raises deep moral dilemmas. One wonders if the decision-makers behind these experiments struggle with the weight of their actions. Number 8. Unknown evil scientist. Our next spot involves an unknown evil scientist who created a human-sheep hybrid in 2017. In a small town in South Africa, villagers were horrified when a sheep gave birth to this unimaginable crossbreed. The mere thought of such a creature roaming the earth sends shivers down your spine. Clearly, some malevolent scientist allowed this twisted creation to come to life, observing the consequences of their unholy experiment. The details of how this abomination was brought into existence remain shrouded in mystery. But it's safe to say that the world would have been in a relentless pursuit to bring the responsible party to justice had the creature survived. Thank goodness it didn't. Number 9. Ilya Ivanovich. Next up, we have Ilya Ivanovich Ivanov, also known as the Red Frankenstein. This infamous figure is credited with pioneering artificial insemination, but soon took a dark turn. In the 1920s, Ivanov set his sights on crossbreeding a human with an ape. After successfully achieving a zebra-donkey hybrid, he ventured to Africa in pursuit of his twisted dreams. Desperate for funds, he resorted to secretly inseminating African women with chimpanzee sperm. The very thought of such repulsive acts is enough to turn one's stomach. Eventually, the truth came to light, and Ivanov's horrific experiments were brought to an end. His name is forever tainted with the stain of his atrocious deeds, and rightfully so. Number 10. Jose Delgado. Back in the early 1900s, a man by the name of Jose Delgado was on a mission to control minds. He may have appeared to be a regular professor at Yale University, but deep down, he had some unconventional ideas brewing in his brilliant mind. Delgado's weapon of choice was none other than implants, and electrode implants were his secret sauce. Delgado's first subjects? Primates. That's right. He started off by implanting electrodes into our primate cousins. And guess what? He used a remote control to make them perform specific movements. Talk about remote-controlled monkeys. But Delgado wasn't content with just monkeying around. Oh no, he wanted to up the ante. Enter the bull. That's right. Our audacious scientist decided to take his mind control game to the ring, facing off against a bull. But here's the twist. Thanks to his mind-altering implants, the bull remained eerily calm, refusing to charge at Delgado. It was as if there was an invisible force keeping the bull's aggression in check. But Delgado wasn't done yet. He set his sights on his most audacious experiment yet: human subjects. A total of 25 brave souls were subjected to Delgado's mind control device. Can you imagine that? Electronic manipulation of the human brain. Delgado believed that with his technology, entire armies could be controlled. Despite his groundbreaking work, Delgado's contributions to the field of mind control often went unnoticed. It's a shame, really, because this man was tinkering with mind-controlled animals way back in the 1900s. But hey, let's not get too carried away with our own mind control fantasies, shall we? Number 11. Stubbins Firth. Now we're talking 1700s level craziness. First up, we have Dr. Stephen Firth, a researcher from Pennsylvania who had a rather peculiar obsession, proving that yellow fever wasn't contagious. Now, get ready for this. Dr. Firth took the hands-on approach by surgically implanting vomit from his yellow fever patients into his own body. That's right, he went all out, rubbing that yucky stuff on his face, in his wounds, and even in his eyes. Number 12. Robert White. But let's fast forward to the more recent past. It's the early 1970s, and American researcher Robert White decides to pull off the impossible: an actual monkey head transplant. Yep, you heard me right, a monkey head transplant. With careful precision, White takes the head of one monkey and attaches it to a headless monkey. It's like a bizarre science fiction movie come to life. Believe it or not, the operation was a success, and the monkey actually tried to take a bite out of the surgeon once it regained consciousness. Can you blame it? Anyone would be pretty peeved off if your body suddenly had a different head. Sadly, the monkey passed away after 9 days, but it's still mind-blowing that this feat was even accomplished. Number 13. Winthrop Kellogg. Now, let's switch gears to the intriguing case of monkey become human. Imagine renowned psychologist Winthrop Kellogg struck with curiosity one night, pondering the fate of a monkey raised with humans. So, he brings a baby female chimp named Gawa into his home and raises it alongside his own human son, Donald. They played together and laughed together. It was like a real-life version of MVP, Most Valuable Primate. But things took a strange turn when Donald started making chimp noises. That was the cue to call it quits. It turns out, monkeys don't exactly master skateboarding or hockey as we had hoped. Gawa was then released, and the experiment was promptly canceled. With that said, thank you for watching. Be sure to hit that subscribe button and stay tuned for more. And if you found this content helpful, give the video a like. See you in the next video. Till then, take care.